Good morning. It is 8 o'clock, 8:15 roughly in the morning, and I'm recording a video that I should have recorded days ago. Um, you know, I find myself posting videos and recording things and, getting my thoughts out there, and I keep telling myself, I'm gonna be more honest. I'm gonna post videos when I should. I'm gonna record my thoughts, blah, 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 blah. And then when it comes time to record it, I start telling myself, I don't feel like editing. I don't feel like dealing with it. I don't feel like setting it up. Uh, I just don't want to talk about it. I haven't been in a good place lately, and as I think about it, there's a lot of reasons. Um, I don't even, where do I start? So, right off the top of my head, um, one of the first things is that, virtual school started back up, and my schedule had to change for last week because of it, and I wasn't happy about it. And instead of adjusting my schedule adjusting my fitness schedule, my running and whatnot, to uh, better suit my availability, I was just pissed about it. And I was mopey, and I was miserable, and I was an old curmudgeon. Um, I wasn't myself, I wasn't happy. I got into a pretty crappy place about the whole thing. And I didn't know how to talk about it because I was pissed off and I was wallowing in my misery. So instead of getting up and going to run at a different time, right? Or doing something else, like practicing my kata, or going up and down the stairs, or doing jumping jacks, whatever, something. I got pissed off and annoyed and frustrated that my schedule had to change through no fault of my own, and I let that affect my daily routine, which inadvertently affected those around me. I wasn't hitting goals that I set for myself, which put me into a crappy place mentally and emotionally. I didn't start eating more, which is good, but I also wasn't maintaining my physical activity. Um, so I just wasn't seeing the results that I wanted to see as far as the weight loss goes, which added to the list, right? It was just another layer of crap on this, crappy cake. And then, you know, me not hitting my goals and me worrying about disappointing people that I've made commitments to, um, added to the list as well. And then I start thinking about, well, I'm not hitting my goals for myself, which means I'm not going to hit my goals for other people. I'm making those around me miserable. And I got into a really, really bad headspace. I got depressed. I started having anxiety about different things. And I wasn't talking about it. I wasn't talking about it. And it sucks. It was hard to carry. It was hard to deal with. I went to a crappy place in my head. And I have my physical fitness test coming up for my black belt test in a couple weeks, and then my black belt test a couple weeks after that. And I'm already in this, crappy spiral, emotional spiral of, I'm not hitting my goals, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, I'm not being a good partner, I'm not being a good dad, and then I start thinking, well, how the hell am I going to do my physical test? How am I going to, pass my knowledge test for my black belt test? And I start this spiral. I started worrying about there's so much to learn for the black belt test. I know a lot of it. I just have to refine it and polish it and start to memorize, right? So that when somebody says, do this technique, boom, I do it. I don't have to think about, well, is that this one or is that one? And that's just repetition and practice and memorization. And that's where I'm at now. I know a lot of the techniques. I don't know all of them, and that's okay. Um, but I started focusing on what I don't know. And I started focusing on the little pieces that I was, missing out on and failing on and screwing up on. Instead of the big pieces that I've accomplished and the big things that I've done, these little things started to take precedent. And worrying about what I didn't do, worrying about what I wasn't taking care of, worrying about the hard stuff that was coming up was the icing on the cake. And I wasn't dealing with it well. You know, it wasn't until I got out running and talking with one of my friends that I really started talking through what was going on. And I think it's because he is disconnected from everything else, right? So I don't have to worry about, saying, well, part of the reason that I'm upset is because something you're doing, or part of the reason that I'm, mad is because of something that they did, or part of the reason that I'm anxious is because of something that I have coming up for you, or because of you, or totally disconnected. And I was able to, I felt like I could speak freely. And that's not to say that the people that that are around me, my friends, my family, my mentors, that they don't make me feel comfortable. But those are the people that I'm worried about disappointing. Those are the people that I'm worried about, being upset or letting down, and having to admit that I'm not this strong rock, and that I'm not this, I can take it all guy that, I let this persona show. Um, that's hard. That's hard. And the analogy that I made to my friend was that, I'm this rock that carries everything on my shoulders, and I have the shoulders to carry the weight of my family and my friends and everybody else's problems. And I wasn't taking care of that rock, and that rock started to crack. And this process that I'm going through, I've been filling in those cracks, and every now and then I forget that I have to start letting go of some of the crap that's on top of me that I don't need to hold on to. I need to start letting go of the negativity that's just there for the sake of being there. That's just an extra weight. That's unnecessary baggage. And those cracks started to form again. That's what happened to me last week. And it all started because my routine changed. And I dealt with that one situation badly. And that snowballed into so many other individual bad decisions that led to a really, really ugly place. And it's crazy how the brain works. I've been on such a high lately for the past couple months because of my progress and my weight loss. And instead of relying on that, I'm focusing on not being able to run when I want to run, not being able to do the things that I had scheduled. And instead of, adapting and changing to what's available and moving around my schedule to what I have available to me, I got pissy. I got pissy and I got mad. And that's not good. Had I acknowledged this when it started happening, instead of just being pissed about it, I could have done something about it then. But I didn't. I wallowed and I got pissed off and I got more upset. And that bad mood had me react to something else in a negative way. And then feeling guilty about both of those things put me in a worse mood. And instead of addressing those two, I reacted to a third thing and a fourth thing. And then by the time I look back, now I'm having attitudes and being pissed off and annoyed for little stupid things that had nothing to do with the person that I was upset with, because I was in a bad place. And that sucks. That sucks for those people. It sucks for you. It sucks for those around you. It's not a good place to be. So this video is an attempt to be clear for myself, be clear to myself, if that makes sense, and really anybody else that's paying attention. You're building this foundation of success, and it takes one win at a time to get this goal that you want. When you want to build a wall, you don't just go, there it is, here's your wall. No, you lay one brick at a time, one rock at a time. And between each brick, between each rock, you need to lay something down to secure it. Some kind of mortar, some kind of something to keep it strong. Because if your wall is just superficial with nothing to support it, you can knock it over easy. And what last week showed me is that little things are going to happen. Things are going to come into your life that you're not going to expect. And if you're not able to adapt and be flexible with what you've set for yourself, you're going to stumble, right? If you're building that wall and one of your bricks is too long, don't stop building the wall because your brick is too long. Cut it, right? Cut the brick and keep going. If you can't cut the brick for whatever reason, leave it there. Leave it there. The wall doesn't have to be perfect. You can come back later on and cut it and clear it off. Great. If not, it's okay. Because at the end of the day, when you look back and you've laid rows and rows and rows of bricks and you have this huge wall in front of you, that was your goal, to put this wall up, right? It's strong and it's solid and it's a foundation that you can stand on top of or in front of or behind and not have to worry about it collapsing. And you're not going to care if there's a brick out of place. You're not going to care if there's, a little bit of rubble here and there or whatever. You're going to care that that wall was completed and that you're standing on it and you're proud of it, right? And you're going to be able to look back on that wall and say, that brick is out of place because of blah, blah, blah. This brick is out of place because I forgot what was important. I forgot the mortar for that brick, so it's crooked. This brick has a crack in it because I was pissed off and I put it down too hard and it cracked. And you're going to have a story for each of those bricks that are out of place. And I'd much rather look back on an imperfect wall than look back on a wall that's broken and collapsed and on the floor. I don't want to hit my goals and wind up going backwards. I don't want to hit my goal of 250 before the end of 2020 and end 2021 at 300 pounds again. I can't do that to myself. I've come too far. What I'm doing, this is hard. This is hard. Looking inwards and reflecting on what I've done wrong is hard, but it's necessary because it helps me look forward to what I need to do right. All these decisions that I've been making every day about my food and about my diet and about running and jogging and practicing my Kenpo or not, practicing my katas or not, helping my son with his or not. Every single one of those decisions is leading me towards something. Is it leading me towards success or is it leading me towards failure? And I got to keep that in mind every damn day. Every day, every decision you make is leading you towards something. And when you get to that end goal of where you want to be, are you going to be proud of where your decisions led you? Are you going to be able to look back on your decisions and on your journey and say, yes, I made it. Yes, I am here. I put the work in. I did this. Are you going to look back on your journey and say, damn, I was pushed here. I don't want to be here. And look back and walk the other way? Or are you going to look back on your journey and say, how the hell did I even get here? And mind you, I never said what the end was. The end could be great. And you say, I don't know how I got here. Sweat pouring off your face. Your big clothes all over you because you dropped 4, 5, 6 sizes. I don't know how I got here. I didn't think I could do this. It could also be, I don't know how the hell I got here. I was 220 pounds. Here I am, 310 pounds. I don't know what happened. I'm miserable. I'm pissed off. I'm sad. I don't know how I got here. That is not who I'm going to be. Every single decision you make has an impact on the next decision you make. And every single decision you make is the result of the decision you made prior. What does that mean? That means you make a bad decision today, you choose whether you want to let that bad decision drive another bad one, or you want to let that bad decision drive the change to make a good one. And that good or bad decision that you make today will have an impact tomorrow. and the next decision, and the next day. It will, whether you realize it or not. When you decide, I don't want that cake, I don't want this candy, I don't want this snack, it's more important that I hit my goals. It's more important that I lose weight. It's more important that I lower my cholesterol, or get my diabetes under control, or get my physical therapy going, get my knees in better place, get my back in a better place, get my smoking under control, get my drug use under control. It's more important that I hit my goal than the decision that I want to make right now. And you can't say to yourself, I'm going to lose 100 pounds. Done. No. You say to yourself, I'm going to lose 2. If you can't lose 2, lose 1. If you can't lose 1, walk. Go up some stairs. Decide to leave that, cake alone. Decide to leave that cigarette in its pack. Make one small decision at a time, and those small decisions will lead to other small decisions, and those small decisions will lead to others, and so on and so on. And before you know it, you're looking back and you say, holy crap, I didn't eat that cookie, and here I am 10 pounds lighter. You could also be saying, I did eat that cookie, and here I am 10 pounds heavier. Where do you want to be? What decision do you want to make? Let your decisions drive you. Make those good decisions. Don't focus on quitting smoking. Don't focus on stopping using drugs. Don't focus on losing 100 pounds. Worry about today, right now, the decision you need to make right this second. Do you want to stop being overweight? Do you want to stop smoking? Do you want to stop doing drugs? Do you want to stop being an a-hole to your family? Do you want to start getting a better job? Start today. Start somewhere. Start at step 1. I forgot that last week. I forgot that. And one bad decision that I made trickled into the next one and the next one. And before I knew it, I was in a really dark place. I didn't want anything to do with anybody. I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to do anything. And I was just wallowing in my misery. And that's scary. That's scary to go from such a high to such a low like that. Life's going to keep throwing at you all different kinds of curveballs that you can't imagine. You need to be flexible. You're never going to be able to anticipate anything that's going to come your way. You need to be flexible so that when something does happen, what you have planned doesn't collapse under you. You can adapt. You can change. You can adjust your schedule. You can figure something out, right? Your plan doesn't have to be this concrete, this is how I'm going to do it and no other way. It doesn't have to be that way. This is hard. This is hard. And what I learned last week is that your plan is not always going to work the way you want it to work, but your goal remains the same. How you get to that goal might change, but your goal remains the same. It's hard. It's hard. If you need help with it, obviously I'm here to talk. I'm here to keep putting these videos out there. This is not easy. This is very difficult for me personally, and I'm sure other people, to talk about their failures, to talk about where they've fallen. If you need to talk about it, leave me a comment down below. Reach out to me on Facebook. Send me a private message. That I'll do whatever I can to help, because I know what the struggle is like. I know what it's like, and I know that it's hard. If you need help, reach out. I'm here. I got you. Make the decision to keep going. Make the decision to start. Make the decision to try. And don't quit. I love you guys. As always, thank you for listening to those that are listening. And most importantly to you, Lou, don't stop. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Thank you for reaching out and being here for me. Thank you for all your support. Love you guys. I'm going to keep going. Even if I stumble, I'm going to get back up. Just keep going. Take care.